Oh, 13-3 sounds so sweet. What's up, Broncos country? My name is Brandon Gilchrist. Well, our Broncos got their first win at Arrowhead since 2015. And frankly, I don't care who's at quarterback. This team has been dominating for the last decade, and at this point, they have a good team. They're well coached, and you could tell they fought through this entire game to get the win and sweep the Chiefs for the first time since 2014. It's something to be celebrated. It was another one-score game, but the Broncos did what they needed to do to get the win and get out of there and make sure their players were taken care of for a big matchup in Week 18. Though the score seemed close, there really was dominance by the Broncos in this one. They controlled the pace of the game the entire time. The offense applied the same approach that they did in their game against Las Vegas, controlling the clock, meticulously marching down the field, capping the drive with scores, and then suffocating the opposing team's offense. It was a conservative game plan. I know many out there were just expecting complete dominance. When we talk about a short week, a Thursday night matchup, and it being a holiday matchup at that, I'm led to believe that Sean Payton is going to do a conservative game plan to try to protect his players, knowing that a short week is not a lot for prep and it's not a lot for recovery. When you know that you outmatch your opponent, he's going to take the conservative approach, try to protect his players, do whatever you need to do to get the win, and then bank on the recovery on the back end. I do also want to acknowledge some really questionable penalties in this game, starting with the pass interference call on Patrick Surtain. It was a soft call, as with this entire game, helped KC set up for a score, in this instance a field goal. There was a phantom false start call on Ben Powers as well. He's flexing his thumb, but other than that, I don't see any twitching, I don't see any movement, I don't see any head bobs. I see a KC player go off sides and engage Ben Powers. I didn't see a false start. Another one was a pass interference call on Evan Ingram. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do when he's running a route. The defender engages him and he needs to break their hands so that he can finish running his route. If they're thinking an arm extension is an offensive pass interference, that's a really crummy call. Thankfully, in this instance, it didn't stall the drive, and Bo followed up with an amazing passing catch to Courtland Sutton for 23 yards to keep the drive moving, culminating in a touchdown. When we talk about some key moments of this game, it sort of started where it left off against the Jags game, with the offense not being able to get into the end zone when they reached the red zone. 2 field goals to start the game after putting together long drives in both of those instances. 14 plays for the first one and a 16-play drive for the second one. Now, in between that, Nix threw an interception that was really just a great play by the defender. That interception gave KC a short field and set them up for their only touchdown of the day. As we got into the second half, it was awesome to see Bo use his legs to make sure that his team got in the end zone after another long 14-play drive to make sure the team came away with the touchdown instead of a field goal. A 44-yard punt return from Brashard Smith at Kansas City set them up for their other field goal in this game and to tie it up going into the fourth. But then the Broncos put together their fourth long drive, 14-plus play drive, causing Chris Jones of KC to go off sides in a critical fourth down moment, resetting the downs, and 3 plays later, Bo Nix finding RJ in the corner of the end zone for another touchdown. That's how you put a team away. When we look at the defense, they dominated this game as they should, going up against a third-string quarterback. There was still a ton of talent on both sides of the ball, but the defense did what they were supposed to. 1 sack, 7 QB hits. They held KC to 10 first downs, 139 total yards of offense, 57 yards passing, and 82 yards rushing. That's a dominant performance from our defense. I was thinking they were going to attack more, but it was evident they were cage rushing Chris Dukin, which meant they only walked away with 1 sack in this one. But that was enough for them to beat the franchise record set in 2024 of 63 sacks. The 2025 Broncos defense is sitting on 64 sacks right now. Quite an accomplishment for the group. And the Chiefs, besides what the Broncos gave them, was unable to move the football. When we look at the Broncos offense, both Sean Payton and Bo Nix acknowledged that the way Spagnuolo defended the offense was very different than they thought it was going to be. And this is ultimately what turned it into being a very similar performance to how the Broncos Broncos played against Las Vegas. The Chiefs played a lot of soft zone coverage, backing up, basically banking on the Broncos being unable to put together long drives in order to score. But they answered that bell. 303 total yards of offense, 22 first downs as opposed to the 10 by KC. They were 11 of 18 on third down, 4 drives of 14 plus plays, including one that was 16 plays. And though they had trouble in the red zone the first half of the game, only getting field goals on their 2 trips, in the second half, they turned that around and got 2 touchdowns. Speaking of our boy, a very solid performance from him, going 26 of 38 for 182 yards, a touchdown pass, and a rushing touchdown. He had a fluky interception in there. I'm not really counting that against him. It was awesome seeing him use his legs in this one. He added 45 yards of his own to the offense. Love seeing that, and it's coming at the right time. Expect to see more of that next week and in the playoffs. It was awesome seeing this group pick up third down after third down. And the nice thing was, most of the time it was third down and manageable. But when we needed a long one, they were often able to convert in those instances as well. Now, the run game wasn't explosive again today, but they did enough to keep this offense balanced. 128 total yards. RJ continues to be a touchdown machine. He had 14 rushes for 43 yards and also caught 5 passes for 33 yards and a touchdown. I still want to see him continue to get most of the reps for this offense. I think he needs the practice in working on seeing the holes, knowing when to be patient and let blocks develop versus using that burst of his and attacking a gap. Awesome to see Jaleel maximize his opportunities as well. 7 carries for 40 yards. The balance of he and RJ is great, and we need to keep using it. When we look at the receivers, Courtland Sutton continues to be the top target, as he should be. A little bit of a tough day for him. I do think the score was close because we did have a dropped touchdown opportunity in this one from him. He also had 1 or 2 other big drops on drives that I think is just uncharacteristic for him, and at this point isn't a long-term concern. That being said, Courtland Sutton, for the first time in his career, has achieved 1,000 receiving yards in back-to-back years. When we look at special teams, Will Lutz made the field goals when we needed to. Great bounce back for him. He was 2 for 2. Jeremy Crawshaw also did his job. 2 punts, 51-yard average. One of those punts was inside the 20. Kick coverage struggled a little bit in this one today, allowing Brashard Smith to get a 44-yard punt return. Over the last few weeks, the special teams coverage has performed better. Hoping this is just a blip due to it being a Thursday night and not a long-term problem. When we talk about build the bunker or bring the thunder, in terms of build the bunker, one thing I'm thinking about is this run game. Still an advocate for RJ getting the majority of the reps and Jaleel being the secondary complement along with Tyler Bidet. But I do want to see some more push from our offensive line and some more patience from RJ. There were a couple times in this game the gap was there and RJ missed it, or the line didn't get nearly enough push for RJ to be able to do anything. When it comes to bring the thunder, shoot, Bo Nix using his legs and him being incorporated a little bit more into the rushing game, seeing him see the field and just take the first down to reset the downs, it is a beautiful sight to see and I want to see more of it. If he finds that right balance between rushing, scrambling, and taking what the defense gives him, he and this offense are going to be incredibly hard to defend, and it's going to give defenses bits, and I'm excited about it. Now let's talk about a weekly salute. And there's one person that immediately comes to mind, and that's Alex Forsyth, coming in at center for Luke Wattenberg, who is gone on IR. Alex came in and made this thing seamless. To come out on primetime, on Christmas Day, as your first start of the year, so thankful for the depth we have on this team, and for the chemistry that he and Bo already had from their time at Oregon. It definitely translated in this one. Salute to Alex Forsyth. Great performance today. We're going to need you the rest of the way here. The other group I want to give a salute to is the defensive line. They continue to be the linchpin of this entire defense and the strength of our team. That front 7 has done such a great job. I think it's going to be the place to watch most in our Week 18 matchup. Salute to that front 7, particularly our defensive line. You all continue to be the linchpin of 2025. This was a good one, y'all. I know it wasn't the most exciting game on Christmas, but the Broncos came in, did what they needed to do, protected their players, got the win, and got out of there. And that's all you can ask. It was a conservative game plan intentionally, and I respect that. After an extended rest, we got a big one in Week 18, and I can't wait. What was your favorite part about the game on Christmas Day? Do you like the Broncos playing on the holidays? Let me know. As always, be kind. Talk to you soon, Broncos country.